This video right here is going to make a mess of my channel. I've had this channel for like a year and 9 months, and I do videos every single day, drop them, I usually make the videos a couple of days before they actually drop. But this video right now, it's 5:45 on Saturday evening, and I'm planning for this video to go up at 7 p.m. and I'm just shooting it now. That means I've got to edit it, send it up to YouTube, put all the details and that kind of stuff, and shoot it in an hour and 15 minutes. The likelihood of that happening is tiny, but the Champions League final is tomorrow. I don't know when you're watching this, but I'm shooting this on Saturday. I'm hoping it'll go up on Saturday, and the Champions League final is tomorrow on Sunday. And it's a Paris Saint Germain shoe, and they're in the final. And the question I had in the title of this video is it luck or is it skill that the Jordan line are dropping a shoe like this just right after Paris Saint Germain have made it to the final of the Champions League for the very first time? I can't believe they sat on this shoe and waited for finally Neymar and co to get it together. It has to be just luck that this shoe would come along at the same time. And then whatever the result is tomorrow, because like I say, shooting this on Saturday, don't know the result yet. You might already know the result and you might already have watched it, or you might be watching this before the final as well and be thinking like, how's it going to go? But what is it going to do to the shoe? If they win for the first ever time with Neymar in there, one of the biggest football stars on the planet, is it going to send this shoe into the stratosphere? And equally, if they lose, is this shoe just going to fizzle out and be a dud? That's the kind of thing we're looking at in today's video, and of course having a look at the details on the shoe itself, and then talking a little bit about whether it's luck or skill that leads us to be talking about the September 1st drop of the upcoming release of the Nike Air Jordan 4 Paris Saint Germain. This is the Tokyo Butter 23 Sneaker Channel, Tokyo Butter 23 Sneaker Channel des. Mainichi Yapsuru no de, Mainichi Mite Kudasai. And every single day from Tokyo, Japan, I bring you content about upcoming sneaker releases, sneaker news, and sneaker reviews. And today, what we're taking a look at is the upcoming release of the Nike Air Jordan 4 Paris Saint Germain. Nike Air Jordan 4? Did somebody say Nike Air Jordan 4? Here's a Nike Air Jordan 4. I've never been able to work out how close to hold shoes to my iPhone 6. I can't believe I still have an iPhone 6, but I'm waiting for 5G, which is supposed to come out this year. But anyway, you never know, like, it's not a camera, it's not, what do they call the HDSL, is that what they are, or something like that, cameras, and I never worked out, is this too close, is this too far away? I always seem to feel like I'm holding them too far away, and I've got to find the right sweet spot to show a shoe, but I don't need to do that with this, because everybody knows what a Red 4 looks like. But the reason I'm holding this is my worn pair. I don't know if you'll be able to see on the sole there, the white patch is kind of a light brown colour, because I've worn them maybe 2 or 3 times. And we're talking April last year, so it's been about 14, 16 months since I bought these. But these were my first ever pair of Jordan sneakers. It's Europe, Nike Air Max, Adidas are big things in Europe, but Jordan never really made it there. I've been out here in Japan for 21 years, so when I started with the channel and sort of started growing my own sort of sneaker collection, sneaker sort of knowledge, the 4s have always been a great silhouette for me. I think it's unique. So I always like to talk about the 4s, and that's why I made the Bread 4 my first ever pair of Jordans. I accidentally bought 2. I've got one on ice, and I'm debating about whether or not I should sell them online. Never sold a shoe online, or never sold a shoe at all. But I've seen the resale is up in past $500 right now, which is double what I paid for them. So I might sell that one that's on ice, and I probably should wear these more often than I actually do. But enough about that shoe. It's my favourite all-time silhouette, and that's why when I saw a 4, I was like, definitely going to research that. Dug into it. So Paris Saint Germain, that's interesting. It's August the 22nd today. Tomorrow's August the 23rd. They're playing in the final. What a great time to talk about this shoe. So without further ado, let's do that and talk about it. First things first, here's the lateral side, and there are 2 really important details to talk about when we come to a lateral side that looks like this. And number 1, it's a personal opinion, but it's true, so maybe it's a fact. But I like these kind of silhouettes on my Jordan 4s, kind of standard colour blocking, nothing too fancy. And I always talk about my least favourite Jordan 4s of all time, which were the Flyknits from last year, the 30th anniversary year of the Jordan 4s. And I thought they made a mess of the 30th anniversary year, and there were way too many like kind of concept sneakers instead of just going with something like this. It was the cool greys that I liked from the year of the 4s, which is kind of strange because it's a very simple shoe, but that's what I like. I like simple shoes, I like simple Air Jordan 4s. I don't like any gimmicky stuff, and this shoe totally fits my eye. Absolutely perfect color blocking on that, so that's the number 1 point about the lateral side. The second point is you zoom in on the tag that shouldn't be there. You don't normally get tags like this on the side of Air Jordan 4s as standard, but we have it on this one. It says Paname, I think it said. Now there must be French pronunciation of that. It's a French word, it's not Paname. I'm sure it'll be something like
Paname.
Or something like that. Please laugh at me in the comments down below. But I don't know how to pronounce it, but I do know what it means. And I read online that it's the surname for Paris. It's not the surname for Paris. Paris isn't a person. First name Paris, last name Paname. Mr. Paname, nice to meet you. I do not think it's the surname for Paris. I think it's the nickname for Paris. And more specifically, I think it's the street name for Paris and its suburbs. And so people say I'm from Paname instead of I'm from Paris. And you know, I'm only saying that because I researched it. I'm not saying that I have street language. Can you imagine if I started trying to talk street? Wouldn't work. Not going to try. But that's the two main features of the side of the shoe. The Paname sort of tag on there that you wouldn't normally see on Jordan 4s, and then also that simple, basic colorway. Thank you, Jordan line, for bringing out a very simple looking Air Jordan 4. I like it very much. Speaking of that, then the other feature of the shoe is to look at before we go into those smaller details is the fact that it's a white-based shoe, and then on top of that you've got two colors, burgundy and black. Nothing to do with Paris Saint Germain. Paris Saint Germain playing sort of royal blue and red, standard red, and burgundy doesn't feature in there at all. So I'm not entirely sure why they went with that colorway. Not why didn't they go with red, for example, or blue? But I'm glad they didn't go with those because I think this looks great. I think it looks really good, and we'll get into the one place on them that does have that Paris Saint Germain feature very soon. But first I want to go from the lateral side up onto the tongue and look at the tongue branding on there. Now sometimes I think shoes get details wrong and they make a mistake with certain things, but in the case of these guys they've gone with that standard branding up the top of the tongue there, and then the word flight. It would have been easy to take that word out and change it to PSG or Paris Saint Germain or Paname or something like that, but I think it was a good choice to stick with flight, but just flip the color into that burgundy. And I kind of, they didn't overplay the shoe. You know, they didn't go too far with it or too much with it. And I like that. It's sometimes it's what's not there that makes something classic and cool, and that's the case with the branding up on the tongue and the top of these guys. Going back from there, the sock lining on there gives an extra bit of sort of pop, especially against that white kind of base of the upper, and then you get that second lower kind of deeper color, which surely helps to sort of provide a bit of contrast. And then we get round to the back of the shoe, to the main feature on the back of these guys. Usually there would be certain people, myself included, who aren't a huge fan of Jumpmans or Jumpmen on the back of Jordan 4s. We like Nike Air on the back of our Jordan 4s. But in the case of these guys, it is a Jumpman on there, and I'm not complaining because it looks great, because it's within the sort of circle crest of Paris Saint Germain. And I think that makes it okay. If they tried to put Nike Air in the middle of that circle there, it wouldn't have worked. So you've got that white branding on that deeper background to give it a bit of contrast. But my all-time favorite, number one thing about these shoes is when you go up from there to this part of the shoe, right here. You see that sort of standard kind of, I don't know what you'd call like fishtail pull tab on the back of Jordan 4s, and it's solid black and it's kind of bumpy on these guys. If you look at this guy's here, it's really, really cool how they've gone with that double layered effect of the black and the burgundy together. I've never seen that on Jordan 4s before. Not saying it hasn't happened, I just haven't seen it. But I think it's a very cool feature that just sort of tops off a very, very cool shoe. So going back to look at it full size, the whole thing there, September 1st drop date. This video should be going up to you guys on August the 22nd, which is in advance of the final tomorrow. Hope you're watching this before the final and wondering how it went. If you're watching it after the final, feel free to talk about it in the comments down below. Maybe, just maybe, Paris Saint Germain have finally put those billions of dollars to good use and got the prize that they've been looking for. Or Bayern Munich from Germany, I think, are going for their 6th Champions League titles, so that would put them in an absolute elite company. I think Real Madrid, AC Milan, and then Bayern Munich and Barcelona, I think. Maybe Bayern Munich, Barcelona and Liverpool are tied on 5, or maybe Barcelona already have 6. But anyway, you know, you're talking about the elite of European competition when you talk about Bayern Munich. And if they manage to make it, you know, fair dues to them. Speaking of Germany, though, Bayern Munich, I'm going to do a video tomorrow about a store from Berlin called Civilist. And a sneaker that's coming from them, the SB Dunk, though, so definitely check that out. For now, though, time to sign off. Thank you guys for checking out the content. I hope you appreciate these Jordan 4s, as I always do. And I'll do what I do at the end of every single video, which is thank you guys for checking out the content and remind you that I do this every single day, so you are guaranteed to see me tomorrow.